Doom ban coming out from the Brazilian team. Doom is an interesting ban for them. I think just any good offlane laner for Infamous will work. I think they could even run like a Core Dazzle here. Although that tends to go towards the mid lane. Tidehunter has been removed from the pool. Darkseer and Magnus. Magnus is always removed in the first phase, it seems. You definitely see something like a Brewmaster for Infamous Gaming. Sort of any team fight control could be really nice. Anything that will allow them to get a little bit of space for this anti-mage. Anything that can lane alone. And I feel like Brewmaster fits both of those criteria. Digging deep, Infamous. This is an elimination game, guys. Winner will go on to face the winner of Thunder Predator versus SG Esports. It is in Game 1, that series. Thunder Predator with a slight lead. And it's going to be the Centaur. So, Brewmaster, Centaur, kind of similar. Centaur gets a little bit more fun to play with the active return. And is certainly a good laner, along with the Earth Spirit or the Chen. But a very beefy lineup overall from Infamous' side. Not an easy kill in Primal Roar. Perhaps you could argue Brewmaster may be a little bit easier, but Drunken Brawler would make that tough regardless. Still, just kind of fits what they need. Stampede is an excellent tool against Stonegaze as well. And we do see the Lifestealer here. So, obviously, a direct sort of counter, quote-unquote counter to the Centaur with the Feast working the way it does based on your HP pool. So they can kind of lane that 1v1 and allow their Lich Titan to do other things. Or maybe they're just looking for kill potential with the Lich Lifestealer. In any case, it still feels like a lot of this is on the Medusa, and she's into a very, very difficult matchup against both, the OD and the Anti-Mage. Damn, that's a fine Lich. Duster is on point with his cosmetics. His Disruptor last game looking fly. His Lich this game equally fly. I mean, he actually looks like a pimp. Medusa, not so much for Leo style. Nice big bowling ball for the Elder Titan. This set's been around for a long while for the Earth Spirit, but I believe that staff's not part of it. Not sure, though. In any case, Gold Basher Anti-Mage versus the Medusa. It's an auto win. We'll see how Jesus and Amigos against Infamous Gaming fare in this Game 3. Game 2, they looked to maneuver very well, especially in the early going. And they got Slark off to, level 19 when the opposing carry was level 15. And whenever Slark has a beginning such as that, certainly bodes well for your chances. Game 3, guys. DreamLeague Season 11 South America Qualifiers. Here Saturday night on twitch.tv/BeyondTheSummit. And in typical South American fashion, we have the opening pause. A little bit of tipping going on early. And some good sportsmanship from Moose. Probably an inside joke there as well.
Magic is an abomination. You rock. Even trying.
And Tomato is, you can tell, excited to be playing this Anti-Mage. And I think most Dota fans are certainly happy that he's back meta once again. Or at least viable once again. Felt like he fell off for a little bit. But that spell shield change, counter spell change. crazy good. Also the retaliate, the new return. Ice Frog is just a mastermind, just constantly evolving the game. And some very wholesome, lovely drawings. There we go. Nice happy face from RoboZ. Good vibes from RoboZ. His teammates, a little more inappropriate. Yeah, there's a... It's a face. Yeah, it's just a face. Cartoony face, albeit. And we hope that everything settles soon. The most value item in the game for Lich, Mango.
Thank God.
Smoke up as 5 from Infamous, and Moose, the team MVP so far, proclaimed by me, the Scrubcaster, will make his way out towards the mid lane. Ward in hand. Duster's got a ward, Leo style as well. One for bottom, one for mid. And it's going to be Lifestealer Titan thus far. Not sure if that will be the permanent laning configuration. Lich Beastmaster. Moose and Duster doesn't seem like they'll run into each other. And the dire side will assume the ward is about there. Unfortunately, it's over here. So, well, Frost Shield. It's Tomato, though. I mean, they really don't have much kill potential on this AM. ADR. And Papita. What a lovely nature scene. Isn't it? Beautiful. Be careful with that axe. Don't want to chop the tree down. He's lacking in the cosmetics games. Where's that Dota Cinema set? Still to this day the best looking Centaur set. Shout out to Suns fan. Hoof Stomp going to be used level 1. Gets the bounty rune. That's 3 for Infamous. A good start to this one. And the manly Centaur will blow a kiss to the rather ugly Lifestealer. Ghoul, if you will. As TP from Moose top lane. Again, RoboZ on his OD has been very good with the blocks. And he'll miss the first last hit just because I cursed him. But yeah, gets a little antsy as Leo approaches. And held his own last game, but missed 2 last hits so far in this one. OD not the best base damage in his defense, but high stakes in this one. Tomato so far bot lane. Going to be up against the Lich Beastmaster. And in the top lane, we've got the so far 1v1 of ADR versus Papita. While the Titan and Earth Spirit duel it up over towards the river. Moose does drag a wave, but he's being just clubbed down. And bottom lane, they do end up getting a kill with the Chen. Moose gets very low. T-Tours. Apologies for that. Was not expecting the anti-mage lane to have kill potential early on, but... We've seen stranger things. So far, CS pretty even across the board. Slight advantage being taken by Robo in the early levels, which you expect. Medusa is pretty piss poor as a laner very early on, but as she starts to put points into that Mystic Snake, she gets a little bit more. Well, roll forward. Will connect onto the Medusa. Kick back. She's going to TP away. Astral? Astral is there. That is a bold and brazen TP by the Medusa. Equilibrium is going to be popped by the OD, and she's going to try to get killed by the tower. Nice fairy fire. Will at least ensure that the last hit does not go the way of Robo Z. Meanwhile, top lane, Pepita in trouble, gets the hoof stomp off. Rage, no mana was there for ADR, but a nice body block from the Titan. And nice aggro toggle as well from that Titan. Gonna keep him alive. Moose is making his way towards bottom. Has an invisibility rune. Chen doesn't have any friends nearby, so this is gonna be a tough kill. But they are doing some pulling and some denying of the creeps. So that'll help their cause in lane. And the Titan denied himself somewhere. Yeah. Kills himself in the tier 2. Cool. TP's his way back down. Moose is here under the cover of invisibility. No sentries here. Anti-Mage going to jump forward. Nice boulder smash through one. The stun from the rolling boulder as well is there, but the Frost Tower keeping him back. Nice blink forward, however, from Tomato. And a couple of right clicks will finish off that Beastmaster. Now the Titan in trouble as well. Although he does have boots, so he's a little bit quicker than the AM, or at least as quick. Was that in all chat? Oh, okay. Interesting. Robo Z 18 and 7, the Medusa 7 and 2. Level 3 on this Medusa, level 4 and almost 5 on the OD. So Robo Z really holding his own the last couple of games. Seems like he heard the cries of the fans. Tomato, no real regen on him. So could be a little bit hampered in lane going forward. Medusa is back in the jungle in the mid lane, so Moose hanging around for no real reason. Divine Favor going to be popped on the AM once again. Nice to have a Chen in lane for sure. And yeah, Medusa in jungle this early, certainly not ideal. Tomato going to get that range creep and die in front of him, but no longer. Oh, Sinister Gaze is there. Wu could be in trouble. He's a little bit out of position. Divine Favor going to be popped onto Tomato, so he can at least stand and fight. But he will take a couple of staplers to the backside. And Moo's TP inbound as well. Three bounty runes, both bottom side bounty runes, going to go the way of the Brazilian squad, the Dire. Missed the fight recap, rip. Pepita, top lane. Really, you see the max feast build on the LS as well. Meanwhile, bottom lane, a little bit of a scuffle breaking out. Over the side camp. Big point of contention in this lane, of course. Meanwhile, OD just having fun mid lane. 33 CS, excuse me, but 19 denies, perhaps. More surprising. Pepita is being chased to the ends of the earth on his Centaur. Still a little bit short of the mana for Hoof Stomp, but oh wow, he dodges away from the LS, who can't resist all that farm. And in the meantime, OD going to be pressuring in this tower with a siege creep. Yeah, this is a good time to be popping Equilibrium and getting to work on that tower. The Earth Spirit even going to look to secure on the north side. And this will be a tier 1 down in 7 minutes in the mid lane. And that is an unmitigated disaster. Now, Medusa going to be found, kicked towards the OD. OD going to come through with the Equilibrium, and he has a Sandy's Eclipse, but doesn't even need it, to be honest. Banish is there. I'll ensure that the kill happens. One more right click. Beautifully played by that combination of Radiant Heroes. Hawk Vision is going to be here. Wu is going to end up dropping. Echo Stomp, not enough mana for the Titan. Shrine will be there for Tomato, though, to keep him safe. RoboZ a bit far forward, but there's no one here to punish him just yet. Tier 1 still pretty healthy bottom lane, and all things going well for Infamous in this game 3. Even the Centaur, 24 last hits, quite admirable in a definitely unfavored matchup, and not an abysmal matchup by any stretch, but you know, one that you have to play skillfully. Net worth for the OD and Anti-Mage already in a great position. Anti-Mage still sitting on 36 CS, 10 denies, despite being the focus of the pressure in the early game for Jesus and Amigos. Smoke gonna pop. They're gonna find themselves a Duster. Shrine is not active. Ice Armor will be there, and the Sinister Gaze as well. Echo Stomp does connect onto 2. Moo's still standing tall and fighting. Sanity's Eclipse will at least finish off the Lich. But that'll be all she wrote. It'll be a Lich for an Earth Spirit. So for a Sanity's Eclipse, not the greatest accomplishment, but it does buy Tomato some space. We talked about him being the focus of the pressure from the Brazilian squad. And the Centaur, well, he's still doing some pull shenanigans and things of that nature top, as he is against that Lifestealer. Still, though, if Tomato has a good start, there's really no one to keep him in check this game. I mean, all he has to do is stay clear of the Stone Gaze, and he's fine. The Primal Roar is a tool they can use to kill him, but it's going to be difficult. Speaking of which, he'll kill the Beastmaster. And Lifestealer does not have a good matchup versus the Anti-Mage. Similar to the Weaver matchup, where you pop open wounds and they just kind of blink or Shikuchi away in the Weaver's case. Sinister's Gaze will keep the OD from killing off the Medusa here, but still creating tons of pressure. Pepita just continuing with the shenanigans top lane. Does not want to see the Lifestealer. He is kind of tough to look at. Moo's doing a little bit of a wraparound. And they do ping out the Elder Titan. Slow is going to be there with the Boulder Smash. Penitent's going to come through. Equilibrium popped. Rolling Boulder stun is there. And that's a dead ET. Beastmaster crawls into the trees deeply. And he's actually going to be nearly pinged out by the Radiant squad. They are going to now find him. He's level 5. There's nothing he can do about this. And does not even have the Wild Axes. He's not using the Arcane Orbs, folks. That is some shit. I don't know how often I've seen that. But RoboZ killing spree. And the Brazilians certainly on the back foot here. 10 minutes in, we'll take a look at the net worth, as is customary. And RoboZ sitting atop it. Tomato not far behind. Still, all the mid lane tier 1 is gone. But the other tier 1 standing for the Dire. Siege Creep doing a little bit of threatening, and ADR will look to infest and blow that up. Pepita, 1,000 gold on the way to his Blink Dagger. Armlet soon to be completed for ADR. Pretty good game for an Armlet here. Only tick damage is from the Magnetize. 3-man stomp bottom lane. But nothing to follow it up. Hoof Stomp comes out by Pepita. The Lich is inbound, however, so needs to be a little bit careful. Titan shows himself bottom. Moo's setting up for potentially what is going to be a roll in, and he does. Connects on the stun with the ET, RoboZ. Yeah, doesn't want to dive too deep under that tier 2. And Pepita, as daytime breaks, finds himself a late bounty rune. Tier 1 going to be taken out by the Radiant bottom lane. And unfortunately for Tomato, he's unable to grab the last hit with 2 Siege Creeps nearby. Infamous very content at this point to just farm all 3 lanes, as Jesus and Amigos feel a little bit scared to do so. The Medusa is level 9, so not terrible. She's recovered quite nicely, in fact. 89 CS, most of those, of course, are jungle creeps, which is why she's not ahead by any means as far as net worth or experience. But now they look to find her. Chen and Earth Spirit will silence her up, but 2 TPs into the shrine, and this is a very optimistic attempt for a kill here. Sanity's Eclipse will come through, but there are 4 heroes from the Dire side here. And RoboZ will grab himself 2 kills. Nice stampede, but the open wound's still going to keep him back. And Papita trying to rotate in. The Astral Imprisonment will be there. Wu does a little bit of baiting, I suppose. Papita continuing to farm the lane. No Echo Stomp available. Tomato continues to farm by his lonesome. And somehow the OD survives there. We talked about him needing a save, and they do get the Hand of God and the Stampede. So overall, 2 for 1. They do get that Medusa that they wanted, despite all the TP reactions. And Tomato is continuing to just farm away on his anti-mage and is relatively close to that battlefield. Force staff completed here by RoboZ. Lester gets down some warding, and ADR actually takes out the Earth Spirit by himself, top lane. I suppose the Earth Spirit rolled in and got open wounds up. Armlet used by the LS. Meanwhile, bottom lane, oh, the OD in trouble. Force staff's over the cliff, though, and should make it away. The Chen able to dodge the Echo Stomp. Tomato is nearby, but I don't think they want to fight this. They're just going to make it up to high ground, and that'll be all she wrote for that engagement. Now, Papita, if he tanks up this tower, should be able to take it pretty easily, and will begin to do so. Return damage. Even leaves the last hit for his carry. Nice guy, Centaur. Tomato going to pick that one up. Hanging around bottom lane, a lot of the Dire. There was a Radiant ward here that perhaps scouted their movement, and that is why you see everyone on this side of the map for the Radiant. Not much for them to take there in any case. These towers certainly more important with their proximity to Roche than this. But it actually looks like they do want to mount a defense here bottom. Arcane Rune on the OD. They're feeling very strong. Earth Spirit, 3-man silence. The kick through doesn't really connect, and neither does a roll. They are going to be able to banish through the Stone Gaze. RoboZ, he has to tuck himself into the trees, though, and now he's completely isolated. Nice stomp by the Centaur, but it's not enough to keep the OD up. And just an odd decision to take this fight by Infamous. I mean, this area is just a death trap with 5 enemy heroes standing around. And Tomato not in fighting shape. OD worth a lot in that fight. ADR benefits massively. It is a 2,000 gold swing and 2,500 experience swing overall. Most of that gold being fed into the Lifestealer. So a pretty large blunder by Infamous's side, which is going to cut into their lead almost entirely. Of course, they do have an anti-mage who, like I mentioned earlier, is going to be very tough to check. Oh, Sinister Gaze, though, into the Echo Stomp, but no follow-up there. That's an interesting combination they may be able to use later in the game. Meanwhile, ADR is able to take out the Chen, but he's got no mana here and is pretty much in no man's land. Hoof Stomp will be there. And the Boulder Smash as well. Trying to armlet toggle through this, and maybe they'll just let him survive. Okay. Sanity's Eclipse will be used. Tomato will jump forward. Blink forward as well from Papita. And they may just get a secondary kill because they didn't kill off ADR quickly. So their misstep there with the Mana Void actually just ends up netting them a second kill. Both for Tomato. They do lose the Chen early on, but a big win for the anti-mage. Four 0-2 on the anti-mage, 5-1-3 on the OD. So the 2 cores doing very well. And again, we see this sort of deep warding from the Radiant side and sort of similar symmetrical warding from the Dire. Desolator being worked on by ADR. He's got the Midas in addition to the Deso, so kind of understanding the limitation of his hero as far as scaling goes, and he wants to continue to be relevant throughout the game. Picks up that Midas. Stampede forced out by ADR. He certainly would have killed off the Centaur there without it. What? Anavoid on the Ancients, I suppose. No big deal. Moo's going to take out the trees to dissuade any of the Dire members from TPing in. And despite it being an OD, they get some decent pressure on this tier 2. Similarly, Beastmaster going to take out the trees here bottom, ward away any TPs, and ADR and friends will begin to work on the tier 2. They'll make much quicker work of it. And they do have the inner beast, of course, to benefit from. Anti-Mage has no desire to hit any buildings. I just kill things. Buildings have no magic. Boulder Smash coming out just to kind of clear up the wave bottom lane. Hoof Stomp will connect onto the LS. Boulder Smash flies out. The double edge will help clean up the wave, and that will force back the Dire lineup. But they do get 90% nearly of the tier 3 damage, so pretty much for free for them, and that will be a cause for concern going forward for the Radiant lineup. Speaking of cause for concern, though, full Manta and Butterfly up for Tomato, and with those two items, he's going to feel very, very difficult to kill. We saw a cool play with the Sinister Gaze earlier, but, I mean, the range is not all that great. Duster, though, speaking of which, could be in trouble. Oh, but the infested Beastmaster is nearby. Chainfrost going to do some work, but already they eat through the Lich. ADR under the Rage is going to be just fine. Moose is going to be imprisoned by the OD. Nice play by RoboZ, and now ADR left in no man's land. Mana Void is going to finish him. And this will tip off Infamous to the fact that there are some deep wards nearby. And Medusa trying to take out the tier 1 is unable to do so. So a big fight win for Infamous' side. Roche is level 1. So of course he's up. But they are pretty darn slow at taking him. Meanwhile, Moose perhaps pursuing the Medusa, but was a little bit too slow to do so. No sentries on the Chen. Other Titan following. Moose has a ward and a sentry. Ward is plopped, but no sentry. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Sinister Gaze on Robo. Roll forward, no stone, I guess, for Moose. Didn't want to dive to the tier 2, and actually ends up being a pretty wise decision from the Earth Spirit, who would have rolled into certain danger. Buckler Crimson Guard, it looks like, for the Centaur. Still quite a ways away from that. Yashakaya completed up along with the Force Staff for the OD. Tomato continuing to push in top lane. Again, he's very difficult to kill with both the counter spell and the Manta style. But he will be pinged out by the Dire lineup. Ooh, he blinks down to the south. Duster has that Sinister Gaze available. Oh, they take out the ward, and now he knows. Counterspell for Reflected Roar. And that is exactly why we say he's difficult to kill. And now Roar off the table for, what, 70 or 80 seconds? 80 seconds at this point. Didn't know what level it was. And a roll forward. Kick does connect on ADR. And they get the silence. Stampede through. Chainfrost will start bouncing, but Manta is there from the AM. ADR gets low. Earth Splitter will connect. Tomato's forced to blink to the north. Duster in a little bit of trouble, but the Earth Spirit in a little bit of more trouble. And now Tomato as well taken out. RoboZ comes through. BKB popped up by Medusa. We mentioned in the draft she'd have to go for this item this game. And they don't have an answer for it just yet. Wild Axe is up in 2 seconds. Chen looking to recall the OD. He gets connected with by the Wild Axes, but they're not nearly enough. Only level 2 to kill him off. And we'll cancel the recall from the Chen. Centaur in the meantime cleaning up the wave. So they need a little bit more wave clear to take this out to save their tier 2. But they don't really have wave clear in spades, the Radiant lineup. And they'll lose their tier 2 here. So a great win for the reveal of the BKB. 10-second BKB for Leo. Chainfrost didn't look all that effective, but the Earth Splitter through this chasm did a lot of work for the Dire side in that fight. Wish I'd caught the recap. Tomato looking at a Scotty next. Desolator completed by the Lifestealer. And the Brazilian squad looking a lot more comfortable in this one. Medusa beginning to scale well. She's got the BKB working on the Scotty. The Desolator completed by the Lifestealer, who's been relevant most of the game. And now we hear the Infest into the Beastmaster. Has a Blink Dagger. They'll just throw the Medusa at the buildings. Jump forward, stomp, and Double Edge will tickle the Medusa. Tomato pushing bottom lane in very slowly. And pushing mid simultaneously as well. But not willing to fight for this tier 2 just yet. There is good vision for the Dire side here. They'll preemptively pop the Shrine. Papita could be in a little bit of trouble here. They split them up using the Astral. And get the Roar up onto RoboZ. Nice stop. Earth Splitter finishes off the OD. Stone Gaze is there as well. On the east side, they'll take out the Chen. Oh, OD actually survived the initial burst with an Imprison. He's able to make it back to safety. Chen gonna buy back. They will lose the Lich to a Double Edge, but now Papita out here in trouble, and Echo Stomp will stop his TP. They'll buy him back as well as the Chen. They'll buy back the Centaur as well. Moose finds the rolling boulder onto the Earth Spirit. Tomato chasing forward, looking for more. He's not going to find much of anything. Finds the Medusa here. He's by his lonesome. Pops up the counterspell. BKB will be there. And he'll send back the Mystic Snake to the BKB target. And now the Medusa's left for dead. Could these buybacks have been worth it? For Infamous, they'll get Roche undoubtedly here. With 60 seconds, no Medusa. But it was 3 buybacks used. And overall, 1,200 gold. And pretty even on experience, but 1,200 gold net going the way of the Brazilians. However, that'll more or less be nullified with the Roche being about 1,000 gold. And the Aegis for Tomato with that freshly picked up Scotty. Unbelievable that RoboZ able to survive in that fight. I thought surely he died to the Earth Splitter, but he must have imprisoned as it landed. And a pretty big objective for Infamous to be able to secure there is that Aegis. Still, it's only the first Roche. Tomato feeling nigh unkillable as he makes his way by his lonesome up the lane. Does have support inbound a little bit behind him. Meanwhile, up by the shrine, they will find the Medusa. Jump forward. Echo Stomp does not connect. Manta Dodge is there. BKB from the Medusa keeps her safe, but she doesn't have mana for the Stone Gaze. And Dust are going to be dropped. They will get the Primal Roar onto the OT. Big Mana Void onto 3, but they can't follow it up. Now blinking in is Tomato under the counterspell. He'll lose his first life, and he's all by his lonesome here. Centaur looking to go back in. Stop! Connects before the ET. Hits onto 3. Papita is going to be there to save the day, but he ends up falling. So does the Chen. Anti-Mage jumping back in, and just going on this BKB Medusa has proved to be very bold for Infamous, and it is yet to pay off. Tomato hanging around, still feeling pretty unkillable. He dies once. They lose the Aegis there. So overall, still a pretty big win for Jesus Amigos. They keep their Medusa alive. It is another BKB charge. It's down to 7 seconds now. But again, just not enough damage for them to kill off the AM. And as OD starts to get a little stronger, perhaps get some armor, he does have the Shivas queued up. It'll be tougher for the Lifestealer to kill him off, but this LS is just quietly a force in this game. Armlet, Deso, MKB. And he's been enough to carry the Medusa through to this point. Almost level 25 on the AM is Tomato. So that lower Mana Void cooldown could be certainly a team fight changer going forward. OD looking at his level 20 pretty soon. Medusa just picked hers up recently. And similar to the OD, the LS, there's just parity almost across the board in this game. The one outlier is that Anti-Mage, but yeah, he survived, but he hasn't felt like the massive threat that you expect an AM to be with this kind of lead. They're going to let mid lane press forward with 2 siege creeps here. Tomato going to have his smoke popped as he walks uphill. Has a double damage rune ready. Finds one. Oh, does not get the Mana Void off in time. And there were 2 heroes in that Beastmaster as he was infested at the moment. And that was a massive TP out. Game of inches at this point. 30 minutes in. And this is that Anti-Mage peak that you want to be taking advantage of. He had a double damage rune as well, so. Infest into the Beastmaster once again. Solar Crest available on the BM. Oh, the Anti-Mage blinks forward. Still a hard target to pin down with the counterspell available. Last couple of fights they've opened on this Medusa. I doubt they'll look to do that again, as she's proven difficult to kill. Tomato perhaps just flagging his teammates how close he is to that level 25. And looking to pick that up before the next fight. Should be able to in this wave. Consulting with his team, perhaps, what he takes here. I think that's definitely the right call. It's mostly physical damage coming out from the Resilient squad. Anything big for the Medusa here? Completes up a Scotty of her own, so getting even more tanky. We saw the BKB not too long ago from RoboZ. And both teams just posturing, perhaps waiting for this next Roche. Yeah, and Leo says it as I look. It's about 1:30 until the minimum spawn for Roche. Something to definitely consider. Still, though, it does feel like the Radiant have the majority of the map control here. So they are the ones farming more so than their counterparts. As they assemble mid lane here. Astral Spirit. Ooh, Dire Side did not see the anti-mage, it seems. Radiant caught a glimpse of the Lich, but can't really do much about it. Oh, and they do see the Medusa top lane. She's going to go for the TP out, and will make it successfully. Duster marching down mid lane alongside his Beastmaster. The Hawk does scout the Earth Spirit, but is that really the target they want? Jump forward. They will Primal Roar up the Earth Spirit and take him out quickly. And the rest of Infamous will scatter. Tomato undeniably will look to cut the wave here mid, but there isn't one nearby. There is one marching towards the Radiant base, but doesn't look like they'll be able to do anything with it. I think Roche was more the larger concern. And it's 1.5 minute Roche respawn, so about right in the middle. Standing on the high ground, Tomato. Dire do not see him. Blinks down to the low ground. Counterspell. Oh, he's used the counterspell. Can they initiate on him? Sinister Gaze is there as well. They've got the Echo Stomp. He blinks away, though. And we'll send back that Mystic Snake. TP in bottom lane. They do find the Beastmaster, but this could spell their own doom. OD forces away. Beautiful scout by RoboZ, seeing that Astral Spirit come through and is able to dodge the Echo Stomp. Doesn't end up having to use the BKB for it either. They'll shove in the top lane in the meantime and force a reaction in that sense. As Tomato beats into the middle lane. Excuse me, I had to grab some water there. Jump forward. Primal Roar is going to be reflected onto the Beastmaster. And he leans back in shame, yelling right into his own ears. Nobody likes the sound of their own voice. You guys know how it is. Orchid pickup. Interesting one here. Bloodthorn going to be built up by Tomato. Could be really nice against the Lifestealer. Not a BKB hero, of course, because he has the Rage. But if you silence him before he's able to use it, can really hinder his ability in the team fights. And sort of any support. The Lich, the Elder Titan, but into the Roche Pit they go, and they've snuck this even under my nose. And I don't have Fog of War. Infamous with quick duck into the Roche Pit. There's a cheese level 2 Roche on RoboZ as well. And this has got to be their window, if any. They did get a double damage rune. Nahaz is triggered if he's watching right now. The reason that Roche went down so quickly and this tower through backdoor protection is the good old DD rune for the Agi carry late in the game. A lot of sentries starting to be deployed here by the Radiant side as well. Looking to really assert this advantage that they have. Dire Vision does not see anyone. Radiant does see a glimpse of the Beastmaster as the pings frantically. It is dumb how low that cooldown is, isn't it? Dire side have good vision here. They'll TP the Medusa into the shrine and go for the Chen. Almost take him down in 2 hits. Force Staff and Stampede, though, will keep him safe. And now a stun onto the Beastmaster. Can they take him out in time? He's brought real low, silenced up. Double Edge finishes him off. Earthsplitter really won't connect onto anyone. Tomato gets the second kill on the Lich. Stonegaze is being popped, but everyone's doing a Delta split from the Infamous side. And after the Beastmaster buyback, Jesus and Amigos are forced back into their base still. Aegis in hand. And we saw that blink into the backlines. Bloodthorn on the Lich takes out the support. Lane's not in a great position, but good enough here for Infamous. They can make a pass at high ground. And just as quickly as the fight starts, it ends. Beautiful plays with the Force Staff and the Stampede to keep the Chen alive. And now that Chen still has a Hand of God to contribute. Almost 3-shot there, that Chen. Really doesn't have any items. Tomato quickly takes out the tier 3 top, blinks away. Joins his team in mid, Papita. And Tomato get to work on that tier 3. Counterspell is there. Blink away. So a couple of tier 3s going the way of the Aegis-wielding Infamous side. Aegis up for another minute and a half. Ooh, the DD rune again. What have we here indeed? You can take these shrines out with ease. Stampede mid lane. They look to find the Beastmaster. They don't even have the AM with him and won't need him. Right clicks from the OD, more than enough. They find the Imprison on the Lifestealer. He does have Rage, however, and is able to get it off. And now the Earth Spirit kind of rolls into his own doom, but is able to get forced down to the low ground. And now jump forward, Bloodthorn onto the Dusa. She's forced to pop BKB. Anti-Mage can simply blink away, and that's the 7 second BKB from the Dusa. Tier 3 made quick work of in the bottom lane. Jump forward, 3-shot, Duster's Lich by Tomato with the double damage rune once again. Blinks forward. Bloodthorn onto the Elder Titan. Robo just bodying them up as they take out the objectives. Force Staff away for the Earth Spirit from the open wounds. Mana Void is going to kill another. That'll be the Elder Titan. And they'll get a 4th as the Lich buys back. Sanity's Eclipse onto 2. Chain Frost will do nothing significant in this one. Tomato, Sinister Gaze in the fountain, jumps forward. Hand of God is going to be there. He's going to blink away to remove aggro from the fountain. Still alive, has the Aegis. May have just wanted to die there. OD is going to imprison the Centaur, who gets the blink off. Papita still alive. Moo's able to roll away. Tomato still alive. Aegis regeneration kicks in here. And 2 lanes of racks going Infamous's way. Still no Lich for 40 seconds. They're going to try and make it 3. No Stone Gaze. BKB is available for the Medusa, but it's mega creeps for Infamous in this all-important Game 3. As the horn sounds, the drums of war sound, I should say. The hour of reckoning is at hand for Jesus e Amigos. Counterspell, blink away, roar, again, back onto the Beastmaster. Boulder Smash through 3. They do get 1. It's going to be the Earth Spirit they take out. Earth Splitter will connect onto 3. Robo is able to BKB and pop the cheese, trying to stand his ground here. Medusa doing a lot more damage than he anticipated. Jump forward, Abyssal Blade, Bloodthorn, Mana Void onto 3. And that's going to be the game as 3 down. Medusa can only watch in horror. GG, and the disconnects come out from the Brazilian squad as Peru, Infamous, Ultra Kill. They get the OD Anti-Mage versus Medusa matchup. And that is just such a steep hill to climb for the Brazilian squad, who had a really good showing in Game 2. And even did impressively well here in Game 3. But that Medusa pick just seemed to make things so difficult all game long. I mean, ADR had a good Lifestealer game. He was always relevant. It was an extremely tough game to play Beastmaster. I mean, Counterspell is one hell of a drug. And Tomato put it to good use here. Moving on, Infamous Gaming, the Peruvians, forward in this lower bracket. They still have 2 series to win, guys, if they are to make it through. We'll check on a quick update. And it looks like the draft is in right now. Draft is happening right now over on twitch.tv/DreamLeague for Thunder Predator versus SG Esports. It is 1-0 SG, guys. So be sure to tune into that as well. We got Kips, Breaky, and Moxie breaking it down for you. I hope for now that you've enjoyed the cast here on twitch.tv/Beyond the Summit. That's going to conclude our South American coverage for Dream League Season 11 qualifiers for the day. Still, one more day of coverage for this tournament, guys, so stay tuned. In the meantime, tomorrow both slots, in fact, will be decided. But in the meantime, check out twitch.tv/DreamLeague for the final game of the day for SA. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, you can follow me over on Twitter at MRPDota, and of course follow at Beyond the Summit for all things Dota 2. Thanks, guys.